Hello, this is Dr. Muriel Rand from New Pathways to Teaching in New Jersey, and this video is to help you with your final assignment in EDU 645, which is Curriculum and Instruction. This is to help you do your using formative assessment to plan instruction final paper. Here are the assessment components. You're going to observe one of your students 5 times, and you're going to identify the educational, social, and emotional needs of the student. You're going to hand in a 1-page record of each session with explanations, and you're going to collect work samples, student work samples, and then you're going to use the information gleaned from these informal observations to plan instruction from your student, for your student. Now, what do we mean by observations? Well, these could be previous observations you made during in-person class, or previous work samples that you've collected, or you can do current observations online. I know this is a little bit more challenging in teaching remotely, but think about what is the academic progress. First of all, that's where I would start. What's the academic progress of the student? What are they able to do? What are they still challenged by? What is their learning style? The pacing, how long does it take them to do activities? Do they get it all done? Do they get it done before the end of class or before you ask them for it? Do they need more? Do they need less? What are their social needs? Are these kids who are the first ones that are on the chat waiting for you in the morning, or are these kids that have kind of disappeared and you haven't heard from them since you've been teaching remotely? What are some emotional concerns that the student might have? Perhaps one of their family members is sick right now, or perhaps they don't have enough food. What's their cultural background? Is their culture important in understanding how they might approach learning? And finally, their personal interests. What floats their boat? What gets them excited about learning? And is there a way of bringing all of that into your teaching? So again, look at this list. Think about all the things that you know about this student. Maybe you learned this, over the previous 6 months when you were teaching in person. Maybe you've learned some new information since you've been teaching remotely. But there's nothing that's not an observation, right? An observation doesn't necessarily mean what you see, but it means what you infer from the interactions that you've had with your students. And then you're going to create a record for each session. There's a template on Blackboard in the assignment section. It's just simple, the date, the lesson or activity that you did with the student. And the lesson or activity could go over multiple days. Maybe you're working on a project, especially for teachers who are specialists that don't see their students every day. This activity might go more than one 40-minute session, let's say. And then your observational notes that you took on the student, and then recommendations for future instruction and a rationale for the selection of these strategies and materials. So what I'm looking for is some depth in that recommendations for future instruction section. That's what's the important part of this assignment. And that brings me to why we do this. Master teachers, the really, really good teachers, use all of this information when they plan lessons for their class. They never just directly take things from the curriculum and teach right out of the book. They adapt it for the particular class they have, or for particular groups of students within your class, or a particular student, not just a group, but a student. So you can't just use your teacher's guide or your curriculum the way it's written. You always are adapting it. So this assignment is intended to get you to start thinking about how we adapt our curriculum and instructional planning for the students that we actually have, not the students that we thought we'd have, or the students that should be in 9th grade, or the students that, should be on a 4th grade level, but are really on a 1st grade level, or the 9th grade students that are functioning at the 4th grade level. This assignment is designed to help you understand that you're never going to have the students that you think you will have. Every year your teaching will be different because you have different students. So this is to practice knowing your students so that you can plan better. And then finally, I want you to note that when you complete EdTPA, that's the state performance assessment. You're going to do that in EDU 672 internship seminar in semester 4. A major part of task 1 is that you will be asked to explicitly describe what you know about your students and how you use that in your planning. So again, this is a way to get you ready for EdTPA and to get you ready to be a master teacher. And I know that you're going to be successful at this, and I hope you enjoy it because it will also help you to get to know at least one of your students better. By all means, reach out if you have any questions, and we wish you the best.